Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome to the show. This is a dark one. Not going to enjoy this one bit. I've actually got to relay some fun, somewhat positive news over the last few days. But the fun officially stops now. Man, I didn't want to do this fucking thing. I was hoping it was a miss. I don't know, man. I'm tired of trying to be so articulate all the time. I'm just gonna talk like a layman, I was just hoping they got it wrong, or that this was just a miss, just wrong numbers. You know what I mean? Okay, they call it hundreds. The number I've heard is 1,200, 1,200 people missing. Okay, I'm trying to get all my thoughts together because people might just hear me, just reading a news story, but it's harder than that. Because this stuff really affects me. Oh, but anyways, here we go. Hundreds of Alligator Alcatraz detainees drop off the grid after leaving site. And I was so happy that day I got to come on here and report that Alligator Alcatraz is getting shut down by that one judge, I think Massachusetts judge. And then it went to appeal, and they said, yeah, it can keep running, even though people were being abused and disappeared. So, man, when the time does come to hold these people accountable with the Nuremberg 2.0, I've been reading a lot about the original Nuremberg trials. And when we have Nuremberg 2.0, those judges need to be held accountable as well for allowing this place to still be operating. And the judges that ruled, the Massachusetts judge that ruled that they need to shut this place down, should get a Presidential Medal of Honor. Okay. For the hundreds of men who, and it's a long article, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm not great at reading, but we'll try to get through it. It's worth getting through. It's worth it to at least try. Reading is not easy for me. For the hundreds of men who were detained at Alligator Alcatraz, entering the gates of the makeshift migrant detention center in the Everglades meant exiting the labyrinth. What is that word? Labyrinthine, but familiar federal immigration process and entering what several immigration attorneys described as an alternate system where the normal rules don't apply. In America. Think about that. We're doing that in America. Land of the free. This ain't the land of the free. I was lied to as a child. I was like, no shit. But fuck you, I resent you for lying to me. And one day this country will be held accountable for lying to me. One Guatemalan man detained at the tent site was accidentally deported to Guatemala before a scheduled bond hearing, his attorney said. Reminiscent of the case of Kilmar Braco Garcia, who I've been reporting on since literally the night the news broke. Type in Kilmar Braco Garcia on my channel. Who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. That's why it should affect me. I've been reporting on that shit and following his life closely. I'm worried about what's going to happen to him. He's going to be deported to Africa or something. Like, what the fuck? A 35-year-old Cuban man could not be located at the California detention facility where U.S. Immigration, ICE, just say ICE, said they had sent him, leaving his family and attorney frantically trying to determine where he was for more than a week, they said. Like, just the, empathy thing. How would you feel if this was you and how your family would feel if they couldn't locate you in a fucking immigration detention system? Just think about how your family would feel. But you probably think it's great. Some people listening to this, you like seeing these people suffer. As of the end of August, the whereabouts of 2/3 of more than 1,800 men detained at Alligator Alcatraz during the month of July could not be determined by the Miami Herald. The Herald had obtained the names from 2 detainee rosters. Shout out to the Herald. Julie K. Brown at the Miami Herald broke a lot of the Epstein stuff regarding his sweetheart deal in 2003. And so, yeah, they've done good work over the years. Around 800 detainees showed no record on ICE's online database. More than 450 listed no location and only instructed the user to call ICE for details. Yeah, okay. A vague notation, the attorneys said, could not mean that a detainee is still being processed. Wait, could not mean? Oh, why am I reading? I can't read. Could mean detainee is still being processed in the middle of a transfer between 2 sites or is about to be deported. It's possible that some of the men who couldn't be located were still at Alligator Alcatraz. Unlike most detainee centers, Alligator Alcatraz is state-run, and detainees often do not appear in the database run by the federal agencies. That's why they made it state-run, so they can just shirk all responsibility. Oh, it's not on us. We don't know where that guy is. Deal with the state of Florida. Just as pussies. No, they'll know the buck stops here. Who knows where the buck stops with this administration? Florida does not maintain a system to look up those detained at the site either. Man, how could anybody live in the state of Florida? That's just absolute hell on earth. I hope you don't have migrants in your family. They get locked up in this place, they're gone forever, basically. And you're fine with that? Apparently, the state of Florida is fine with that. They love voting for Republicans. They love dumbing themselves down and having their lives ruined and losing their health care. The South is a disgrace. Just some of the most uneducated people on this planet. But that wouldn't have accounted for all the detainees with no record in the federal database because the facility's population has declined dramatically by late August, falling below 400 people. Where the other people? Where are the 1,400 people that are not accounted for? As of August 21st, the court ruling effectively halted operations at the site. As I was talking about, I did a story on that. I was very happy about that, very pleased with that. The outcomes for detainees who have been housed at the facility have taken on a new significance after an appeals court overturned that earlier ruling, allowing the facility to resume operations. This was a disgrace. Let's find who that judge was. Kathleen Williams is the good judge. Chose a panel. Okay, fuck you, Barbara Lagoa and Elizabeth Branch. You're filth. Alright. Some Alligator Alcatraz detainees who couldn't be located in the ICE database might have been deported, even though the internal data obtained by the Herald show the vast majority of detainees didn't have final orders of removal from a judge. So you just deport people illegally again. That's how I was thinking this fucking administration. They talk about law and order. Like, suck my fucking dick. Suck my fucking dick. You don't give a shit about law and order. But one day you will. I guarantee it. One day you'll care a lot about law and order. Some of those deportations occurred as a result of detainees deciding to abandon their ongoing immigration cases to put an end to their deep detention at the facility and its harsh conditions, which included being held in chalk-lined cages in tents with little protection from the elements. Oh, that's real humane. Real Christian of you. It became a game of, that's why I could never be a conservative. The Republican Party is a terrorist party full of just the absolute scum. Just subhuman filth. You need to be dealt with on a massive level, man. I mean, we need to throw millions of people in prison after this. It became a game of chicken to see who's going to blink first, to see if the client's going to say, I don't want to be detained in these conditions, just send me back, said Alex Solomiani. But some immigrants who didn't want to leave were also deported, even if they still had a right to remain. That's a problem. It means you broke the law. You call it law and order. Suck my dick. One of Solomiani's clients is a 53-year-old man from Guatemala who had been in the United States since 2001. He was sent to Alligator Alcatraz soon after it opened in July after being stopped by Florida Highway Patrol. Solomiani filed a motion to be released on the bond for the Guatemalan man who worked as a house painter, doing a good job, doing good work, working hard. The jobs that poor white guys don't want to get out and do, which is why you're poor. You don't want to work hard like these immigrants. And you want to deport this guy thinking these white guys are going to go out and do anything. The attorney showed up for a scheduled hearing at the Chrome Detention Center in Miami on August 1st, expecting to see the client. That's when an attorney for the government told him that his client had been accidentally sent to Guatemala instead of being transferred to Chrome ahead of the hearing. Yeah, accidentally, right. But man, I just don't understand how people can hate these immigrants. Like, growing up, they did all this good work for this hard-ass work for us, like remodeling our house, the shit we didn't want to pay, Americans to do, for, what do you call them, documented Americans, and they would come over and do it happily. All they wanted was just, $100 a day or whatever and a meal to eat, maybe 2 meals. And you people want to send them out of the country and make everything harder for everybody else. You're going to destroy the economy. You're going to destroy our way of life. You people are so stupid. Solomiani is now working with ICE to have his client return to the U.S. The man's family asked that his name not be used for fear of retribution. And you may be saying, Kush, man, you used illegal immigrant. Yeah, I did. Yeah, we did. We used illegal immigrants. Yeah, just like every other American does, because we don't want to pay Americans to do those jobs. Plus, they don't work. You know why I like when we use these illegal immigrants? Because they actually worked hard. Like white guys or whatever, black guy, Latino, whatever these Americans, they don't want to do that kind of work. They don't want to work like that, and they would charge you 3 to 4 times as much. I don't want to fuck with that. You're lazy and you don't want to work hard. Why would I hire Americans? John Sandweg, the former director of ICE during the Obama administration, said the facility's hasty construction in just over a week made errors inevitable. They constructed this thing over a week and they got like $200 million taxpayer dollars from it. You're being robbed blind. You people don't even understand it. The way that this was rolled out, that it was stood up overnight, all that lends itself to mistakes. A spokesperson for the office of the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, referred to the Herald Dice when asked for comment. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, did not respond to multiple requests. And man, Ron DeSantis better hope his wife wins this election down in Florida to cover up all his fucking crimes. Otherwise, you go to prison, you little piece of trash. You little 5'3" asshole. Little manlet. You little fucking piece of garbage. Little midget piece of fucking trash. The Alligator Alcatraz label. Now more than 2 months after the site just first opened, attorneys say that the chaos that why are always these short guys that are most insecure? Like, look at Vladimir Putin. Look at Ron DeSantis. It's always these little manlets that are the most insecure. That the chaos that marked the facility's early days has followed their clients even after they have left. They've all suffered some pretty bad results from being tagged with the Alligator Alcatraz label, said attorney Zachary Perez, talking about the nearly half dozen detainees at the facility that his firm has represented. And good job. Zachary Perez, good Hispanic. There's all these Hispanics out here that want to be white and shit, turning on their own people for the white man or whatever. Zachary Perez, you're doing a good job. One former detainee at the facility went missing for more than a week after he was removed from the facility, according to his family. Michael Barrejo Fernandez, 35-year-old Cuban national, was detained at the Alligator Alcatraz Center for nearly all of July. He was one of several detainees who sued the Trump administration and DeSantis administration over legal access at the facility. You got these crazy-ass Cubans thinking they're on the team. Think you've been in Miami for like a couple generations, think you're white now. How's that working out for you? There's a bunch of Cubans in that facility, I guarantee it. They thought they were on the team. They don't like you. Borrego was moved to Chrome at midnight on August 2nd, and according to ICE's detainee locator, was transferred around Labor Day to Otay Mesa Detention Center, a privately run migrant detention site in San Diego. It's crazy. It's always been crazy to me. They'll take these names and whatnot, like San Diego, San Antonio, these Hispanic names, and treat the Latinos within those borders like absolute dog shit. While at Chrome, Borrego called his mother, wife, and 3-year-old daughter at least once a day, said his mother, Yanissi Fernandez, but after his transfer, his family didn't hear from him for more than a week. Borrego's attorney, Mitch Gonzalez, another good Latino attorney, Mitch Gonzalez, baby. I can't stand these Latinos who think they're white, but the real ones, shout out to you. Like, you had to think you were white with that last name like Fuentes, like Nick Fuentes, Nazi Nick Fuentes. Dad's fucking Mexican. Your mom's Italian. Borrego's attorney, Mitch Gonzalez, said he called the California facility repeatedly, but was told each time that no one by the name was detained there. And I just love, like, I keep interjecting with these white Europeans, their arrogance and their ignorance. Like, you think you're an American. No, but you know what a real American looks like? Look at my profile picture. We're called Native Americans, not Indians. We're not from India. Native Americans for a reason. Then you came and stole everything from us. There's only one group of real Americans, and it's not Europeans. Sorry to break it to you. Borrego's family was worried about his health. While at Alligator Alcatraz, He needed an emergency surgery for stage 4 hemorrhoids. His mother said that he was in great pain after the surgery and did not get proper medical care during his recovery period, most of which he spent shackled to a bed. Borrego's family were at their wits and crying and trying to find him. Fernandez said, "It is like psychological torture." It is. It's not like it is psychological torture. And these are concentration camps. Where's the humanity? You won't find it in these Europeans. They're treacherous. Finally, after more than a week, they heard from Borrego again. He wasn't in California. He was 2,000 miles away from where ICE said he would be. Borrego had abruptly been deported to Mexico, the Mexican state of Tabasco. That's how it ends? Okay, well, there you go. We made it through this article and only took 16 minutes. I tried my best at reading, but I had to interject my thoughts because I'm angry. I'm upset. I'm pissed off because having to watch this administration treat people like fucking animals for the past 8 months, as it's got me to my. I've had days where I can't even come on here and make any content because I'm so pissed off. I'll say something that get me in trouble, but what do you expect? What do you expect from this white supremacist fucking administration, a white supremacist country? I'm just sick of America. Sick of being lied to. Sick of being having my intelligence insulted on a daily basis by this fucking regime. But I just expect it to get a lot worse. But just keep speaking out. Keep speaking the truth. Keep speaking your mind and never let them shut you up. That's what these idiots want. Show them you ain't afraid of them. Speak your fucking mind to the fullest every single day, and until these people come home.